went down to the APBA convention down in Atlanta. This was 6 or 7 years ago. I was campaigning to do turbines. And of course, they never had turbine offshore race boats before. So I had all my pencils and all my pads and my little GQ sheets and everything.
Had a chance meeting with Haggin up in Atlanta, and things clicked. And I went to bat for him in the turbine class.
And he said, give this kid a chance, will you? So he got my entrance into turbine racing for offshore. And then he came to my office about a month later and he says, what do you think about sponsoring me? So I said, well, heck, I can do whatever I can do for you, sir. You did a great job of getting me in this. So the first race I ever sponsored him in, he takes off out of the chute and he hits trips like this and just gets sucked right out of the boat. Within a minute into this race, he's already in the water. And I came up and tapped him on the helmet. I said, you sure you want me to sponsor you? You're really not any good at this, are you?
Well, I was running a cat outboard boat with a good friend of mine, Dan Lawrence. And we were a small team. We came to the events with our own food and coolers, and we made do with what we had. And
he pulled up in this beautiful rig with his partner, and he was the very first guy that ever gave me a whole plate of lasagna.
He kind of stopped in the middle of his circus, in the middle of his whole program, and his head kind of tilted a little sideways. He said, "You're bringing me food?"
So when he did that and gave me food, I said, "You're hired." I didn't know what he could do.
And I guess that one little step, when it came to looking for the driver of his racing turbine team, I came into mind, and he went to Scotty and asked if he wanted to work out the boat with me, and the rest is history, I guess.
We are the polar opposites. I drive a pickup truck, he drives a Mercedes. I'm big, he's little. I have long blonde hair, he's got short dark hair.
Scott is kind of like, on our team, he's kind of like the mom to our crew, and I kind of look at myself as the dad. I'm a little more rigid on the guys, and Scott kind of brings them around and puts them under his wing a little bit and says, it'll be all right, get back to work. And I kind of give him that look like, it's time to step it up.
And there's such a great union between those two in the boat. I mean, they probably have thousands of hours in the cockpit. I'll never have met a pair of guys that are most suited to be in a turbine boat, and they do it flawlessly, and so far, knock on wood, they've been doing quite well.
When we put us together, it's kind of this perfect medium. We take these great attributes, his ability to not allow the little things to bother him, to see through.
We started off yelling back and forth at each other, calling each other every name in the book, almost every race.
My preciseness in making sure that we've thought of every little detail. We mix these two things together, and you get this tremendous player. And as you know, being in an offshore race boat is a two-man team, but that two-man team ultimately has to work as one for it to be a champion.
Boat racing is not something that I do, it's part of who I am.
To be the best, you have to always push yourself.
It really is a union together, and I just trust those two explicitly.
But when you see a throttle man and a driver work together and understand what each other is thinking, then they're unstoppable.